to the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
See, India, we're all about video.
I know. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, we had to roll out the red carpet this morning, so it's
I
amazing
love
to
it.
have
You
you on.
guys did amazing. That's awesome.
So we do want to
did it all. We just kind of plug things in and make things move, and then
It goes awesome. Good morning to Daman. Good morning to Lisa. So glad to have you guys out this morning. India, we chatted, I think it was last week or the week before, and I just love everything you're about. Like, I've been following you on Instagram, seeing all the cool stuff you've done, and in our conversation, you're awesome. It's honestly such a good approach to have, and it's something that's so needed. So we want to welcome you this morning to Sales Chatter. Thank you so much for coming on, and let's get into it because you have an amazing story. Like, how did you get started with video?
I got started with video when I was younger. Like, I loved the storytelling piece of video. I still do love the storytelling piece of video. But I remember probably around like the age of 6 or 7, my cousin, she's like my best friend. Her stepdad had a big like Sony recorder rig, and every weekend, she lived in New Jersey, I lived in PA. So every weekend I'm asking my mom, can I go over Stephanie's house? Can I go over Stephanie's house? She's like, okay, India. And I just couldn't wait to start recording. She would record me, I would record her. We're going around the house. I didn't even know that back then that was called a vlog. I mean, no one was doing that back then. So I was already setting trends at the age of 6 or 7. So video has been my first love since I can remember.
That's amazing. And I'd love for you to tell your story, like how you basically went from what you kind of did like in college, university, and then over to becoming a marketing strategist.
Yeah, so I went the traditional route. I went to school in Westchester, got my BA in psychology. I was like a big Criminal Minds geek. Like I think it came on Thursday. Every Thursday, I was faithful watching it. It's actually coming back on for Thanksgiving, so I can't wait. If you're a big Criminal Minds, that type of person, yeah, you got to check it out. But yeah, I wanted to go into the FBI. I wanted to study behavioral scientists, and serial killers and all that fun jazz. So I applied to the FBI and started the process. They asked for all my transcripts. I applied and I chickened out. I was like, I'm not sure if I want to, move. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to move to, across state or wherever across country. I mean, so I just wanted something a little bit more stable. So then I got into HR and I was pregnant with my first daughter. And I remember sitting in my cubicle. I'm like, corporate is not for me. And I come from a line of entrepreneurs. So I started, looking for people online. I was just looking for ways to start a business online. So I came across this coach and started working with him. I was a virtual executive assistant. COVID hit and he's like, yeah, India, I can't afford to pay you anymore. So I'm like, okay, I still have a family to provide for. So that kind of put the fire under my butt. And I'm like, India, out of everything that you were doing with him and corporate, what skills, can you leverage to create your own business? And that's where my video marketing business came about.
Awesome.
Thank you. Long-winded story, but
you know what? Sometimes the best things come about.
I know. Yep.
Right?
I'm learning that.
When you least expect it, and then all of a sudden you have no choice. Nobody
it's crazy.
Against the wall.
Yep.
And kudos to you for that, because it's amazing, right? And like you kind of some of the techniques we talk about, you said that you had a coach, right? Like that's something that we always preach, like having a mentor. Funny story, like Dan is my coach still, that's how we basically started our relationship, our friendship and things like that. And I think one of the big things, a lot of people are scared of using video. Dan and I love using video because I believe like during the pandemic, you can get that one-to-one touch or even put out socials for people. So in terms of video ideas, I want to kind of take it from the mindset of someone who's never done video. They're a little bit scared of it. They don't like to hear their own voice. They don't like to
I hear that things. So much. Oh my gosh.
Well, what would you kind of recommend to people kind of getting started with video?
It's really a mindset thing. And then what it really boils down to, like if you peel the layers of the onion back, they really have no idea how to show up. And that's why they're procrastinating. So once you figure out what you're doing, you're going to feel confident. That's just like if you were, to start learning how to drive. At first you were scared. I know I still can't. I'm not a fan of parallel parking. So I mean, but the
Get a
more
car
you
where you
do
push a button and it does it for you. You don't have to
I
have to
know I
worry
need
about
to
it
get one
anymore
of
these
those.
days.
But it's just like it's the same concept. Like the more you do it, the more you're going to get better, the more confident you're going to get. But 72% of people would rather learn about a product or a service by way of video. And if you're not using video in your business, you're leaving money on the table essentially. 72%.
Now, when
Everybody
you
get
say
going.
video, are you talking a video like from like a bomb thing where you can just send them a video to explain them? Are you talking webinars? Are you talking like online events? Like, is it all forms of
It's a
video,
mixture.
or is
Yep.
it?
It's all forms. And that's what I love about video. Like when I talk to people about video, they think that you have to be on TikTok pointing and dancing. No, video is all encompassing. Like there's endless opportunities to use video. So, and I actually have a free guide on my website if you guys want to check out how to use. It's more based for online businesses, but you can use it in your if you have like a product-based business or logistics, whatever. But 64% of those people reported that they purchased a product or a service. I'm sorry. Yeah. So 64% of businesses grew their revenue faster than businesses that didn't use video. So almost half of businesses. That's crazy. I'm a big analytics person. So
yeah,
sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
What's a nice length of video when you go out to your prospects? I mean, from your experience, how long? 30 seconds, 40?
So do you mean like if you're chatting or an
like
email?
an introduction. Yeah, like an introduction
2
to
minutes
a
tops. 2 minutes tops. Yep.
Because you always hear, and I'm sure that Ryan and Dan will agree with me, that you really have to hit it hard within the first 10 seconds. After the first 10 seconds, if it's not interesting, they're just going to shut it down. Really
Yep, they are. Yep.
So how do you make it
interesting? A lot of
interesting?
it, Jeff, is like an email, right? Like your subject line, get somebody to open it. Your first
that hook
sentence,
is
get
so
somebody
important.
to read the second sentence, the second sentence, and same thing in video. First thing, your thumbnail, like if you're talking YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, India. Like the thumbnail is what gets people to stop. Your first sentence is what people go, I'm going to listen to this for a little bit longer. Your second sentence, then, and it's that evolutionary flow where you're walking them through what India was saying at the beginning is a story.
Yep.
And that's in essence, video is all about the story. Because why do we get into movies? Because the story, the hero's journey, and all these other things that you can incorporate into it, right?
Right. The
Just
storyline.
Just think about election day. I'm not sure when election day, Ryan, I know you're up in Canada, but election day was here a couple of weeks ago. And of course, they are putting so much money behind ads in commercials. Why? Because they know that video sales, it's going to, convey their whatever this person is, and people are going to go out and vote for them. They're not going to put money behind a blog. People aren't going to read a blog about a senator or a president. They're putting it behind a commercial. So that just shows you the power of video.
Awesome. David has a great question here for you.
Oh, yeah.
The face, and then if you can have a face like this with bad music, and it's like I'm a bad person, and then a face, you know what I mean? It's amazing the elements that go into.
There's so much psychology in video. So I am using to my degree in some fashion.
Yes.
So David brings a point here. Are we able to explain what types of video works and what doesn't? Is there some basic tips for basically creating a good video? Great question, David.
Good question. So I mean, I think it's definitely dependent on your industry. But I would say, all short form content is really important right now. So whether that's Instagram Reels, TikToks, YouTube, you can put video on Pinterest now, LinkedIn is pushing creators that are, using video very heavily. So I would say any short form content. And then in regards to the ones that don't work, I would just say the ones that are like super long. I would say anything over 12 minutes. Like if you're on YouTube, people aren't going to, unless it's like a podcast or something, people aren't going to really stick around. So just make sure that your videos are, hook worthy, and they have a hook. They're introducing. I always tell my clients to start out with a pain point. So if you are in trucking, and I'm just gonna spitball it off the top of my head. I really don't know much about trucking, so I'm trying to think how I can frame that. Maybe like, are you tired of like delayed like frights or something along those lines? So you can start it off like that and then go into it. My company is RGTX Logistics, and we are a logistics company that XYZ. Bam, there you go.
I like that a lot.
Late deliveries, yes. Thank you so much, Lisa. I
with
did not have
late
coffee yet.
deliveries will then stick around.
And I think that's extremely important when you're looking at doing video, because like you said, you're doing that short form, and that's what's going to get the hook, right? Because let's say we're doing this type of sales video. If we were to start with a hook that cold calling is dead, you know how many people, or even you said CRMs are dead, you hook people in right there, right? So I think even kind of starting a video, kind of getting back to Damon's point, let's say I was going to pick up my iPhone, because iPhones these days are better than some cameras out there. You start recording, or even Android. What are your tips? Like, do you think, hey, let me go, should I have a script? Should I do a little bit of editing? Somebody basically starting fresh and starting a video, what kind of tips would you kind of give for their first video?
For their first video, I would definitely say script it. Don't have the paper in front of you rating it off. Like, you want to be super casual, but you just want to have some quick notes to quickly jot over. There's an app on iPhone called Teleprompter, and it's amazing. So anyone just starting out, definitely recommend you downloading that. And then as far as equipment, I would say just like a basic ring light with a tripod, and you're good.
Anything like created, like, like some people brand an image, something that's a differentiator compared to others, instead of being like really, really professional, like put some fun in it or something like that. What are your thoughts?
So you mean like post editing?
Yeah, like when you're creating that 2-minute video that you're going to share with your prospects, something that's, is a grabber, that's going to get their attention, something not like a guy in a suit and a tie, in an office, like they used to put your profile pictures on your resume, nothing like that anymore. But I'm just saying something that's creative. What's a really good differentiator for the folks out there that would separate them from the norm? Is fun part of it? Or, I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
You could do like like an animated logo, or if you don't have a logo, you can do your name. You can do like, 5 or 6 seconds of like background music, and then segue into your part, and then end it with some type of animation at the end as well. So, I mean, you can spice video up however you want if you don't want it just to be, you talking. You can add in like stock video as well. So as you're talking, you can have the stock video to play over that. So you have a lot of possibilities.
And what's your take on like very well edited versus what I call ghetto videos, where you just kind of pick up your phone and you go, "Hey, yeah, that was a mistake." But anyways, you know what I'm saying, and versus, cut that out and bring that in, and you get rid of the What are your take on those two styles?
So I would definitely say it seems like the trend is going to not overly edited, but if you are continuously saying or skipping words, or your quality is bad, I would say let's redo it again, or try to edit all that out.
Just be real.
Yeah, yep, be real.
Video or audio, what's more important?
Okay, so of course I'm going to be biased, but I would say video. It just tells a better story. The numbers.
No. What I mean is, so meaning the audio in your video.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Video itself, like, so like you look at Ryan and he's nice and crisp, and then he's got kind of a blurred background. And sometimes when Ryan moves a certain way, Ryan gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
But his audio is still crisp.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, so you just want to make sure that you're using a good mic. Doesn't have to be, $300. There's like Blue Yetis out there that, I mean, right now, if you're going to get a mic now, it's probably the best time of the year to get it. See, there you go. And you
Boo.
have
No,
one too.
like,
Yeah, so I would say that's like the best entry level mic to get.
And I think too, like what I like as well, like with people doing shorts. So when I look at video, there's two ways that you can use video. You can use video where you're looking to post it on your socials so everybody can see it, and then you're doing that one-to-one. So let's say I was going to send Dan a video, and it's just going to be a little bit more personable and talk about those things. Like we've always kind of talked about, hey, you can add different things. You can add captions for everything you've kind of said.
Yeah.
In terms of, let's say somebody's so adamant, like I don't want to show my face on there, but I'm going to use like the stock video and kind of do like a voice over. What are your kind of tips for that? Because I know you would have clients like that who are like, I
Yes,
don't
I
want to
do.
show my face. I hate my face, right?
Yep.
So what are your
Yep.
kind of tips for somebody who wants to do like voiceovers and stock photo?
I mean, that's fine. I mean, as long as you're using some type of video, do I recommend it? No, I don't. Because I mean, it's so much easier to connect with someone on camera versus a stock video. But I mean, try it out and test it. And if it doesn't work, maybe it wasn't, well perceived. Try a different type of stock video. There's a million like stock video memberships out here. Just keep playing with the stock. And if that doesn't work, then you may have to start showing up on camera.
A good way to also help ease that fear of showing up on camera are things like Loom, where you can literally decrease the size of your camera in the corner. So 98% of the real estate is your presentation or is whatever kind of PowerPoint or whatever you're trying to show them, your website or whatever. And typically they're not looking at you. I mean, we as the individuals filming it think they are, but they're not. They're looking at the overall screen and they're saying, oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I need that. And you're just in the corner. And then again, I'll reiterate India's point for sure. For your prospect to look into your eyes, even if it being through video, really, in my opinion, really does matter. I mean, you can use Doodle, you can use what's the other one they have? Creative art, like they have all these different programs like doodling is like just the hand animation that draws, and you can tell a story with drawing, and they do it very well.
Explainer videos do very well, and I'm sure they do very well in logistics, like just like a picture of someone carrying your package or driving or whatever. I think those are great. If you have a warehouse, you can definitely film your team or you walking around the warehouse.
I like that what Lisa just popped up. That's a great idea.
Yeah, there was like a viral video that went out a couple of years ago where this guy was he was in sales and he's trying to procure a meeting with Buffalo Wild Wings. And what he did was that he got the spiciest wings that they have, and he would just record a video of him eating it and talking to them, like doing that presentation. But I think when like yourself being a strategist and like obviously being a professional at this, what are some key things that you look for when you're seeing videos that, hey, whether it be a commercial on TV or if it's like somebody that you're working with a client, what are some key things that you personally pay attention to?
Brand recognition. Do I know who they are? And if I don't, what are they doing? So I'm trying to think of a commercial that I seen recently that was Starbucks has been advertising a lot nowadays. And why, I'm not sure, but you always know when their videos are coming on. They all like around the time they had like their holiday cups coming out. Just, it's Christmas time. There's one commercial that comes out every year, and I'm not sure if it plays in Canada, but the lottery. It's like this old Santa Claus guy, and they have the Christmas choir, and you just know that it's Christmas time. So stuff like that. It's just like the nostalgic value. So what are they talking about? What kind of visuals? Is it audio? Are they singing? Are they talking? Is it B-roll? Are they telling a story? So those are kind of all things that I pay attention to in when I'm looking at videos or commercials, really.
So when you say brand recognition, so like I do hear what you're saying, because Starbucks is like their ads are starting to come on more and more and more. We didn't.
Why? I have no idea.
Holiday drinks, the holiday caramel brulee. Shout out to Damon.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Yeah,
you and your 6-word coffees. So there's one in Canada right now. I don't know if I'm sure they'll have it in the US, where this lady walks into a Starbucks and she's got like Christmas tree earrings, and her jacket is actually looks almost exactly like the Christmas cups from Starbucks, right? And then I think of commercials like Bell. So Bell has the Bell stripes in the background. So the brand is in the background where it's kind of mixing. You look at the Bay. The Bay has the their three stripes, and you can always kind of, for me, it's commercials when they come on. I'm looking for that brand recognition that you were talking about,
and it's crazy.
And it's not always front and center saying that's Apple,
it's
right?
Very
it's in the background, or there's a color mix somewhere, or a blanket hanging, that has the Wayfair color on it. It's a blanket hanging in somebody's living room. So there's really creative ways for us to put our branding in
without making it front and center.
Exactly. Without like saying, hey, here it is.
And I test this out every day. My daughters are 3 and 2. So I'm kind of like visualizing it through them right now. So I'm not going to say I have guinea pigs, but I can see like if they're on YouTube with thumbnails, attract them. But all the brand recognition, they know Target, they know Chick-fil-A. It's crazy at 2 and 3. So imagine if your prospects are, watching your videos, they're going to know exactly your company.
Yeah. Well, that's your goal, isn't it? When our prospects see us, it's like when we were kids and we passed the golden arches.
Yes.
That is like the gold of business right there. If your prospect go, oh my God, there's that. Because when I passed the golden arches, it was like we always had to stop at McDonald's when I was a kid because I would throw a tantrum if we didn't. They're so. And did you ever notice the arches are always the highest thing?
So you can see it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. If you're driving down the highway, that's a good book, by the way. If you're driving down the highway, they want you to see, oh, there's McDonald's right down the road.
And from a distance.
Yep.
From far. So the kids have a good 3 minutes to harass you into getting off the highway.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Nice yellow big sign like that. That's towering.
So what would be your video version of that? What would be a video version of capturing the mindset, capturing the market share that you would put in a video like that?
Yeah, that's super smart. Definitely kind of what we just talked about, like not having your logo front and center, but just like your values, putting your values in there. So if your core values, your missions, your team members, something that they can identify with, that they would kind of assume that would be with your company. So for example, gosh, I just lost my train of thought. It'll come back to me. Yeah, it'll come back to me. Go ahead.
So I would think a really shocking stat might be a pretty good, like, whoa, hold on. So like, for example, as a logistics company, I'll just make one up. Did you know that 72% of your salespeople are donkeys? And really, you need Clydesdales in order to get to the next level. And so, like, calling out 72% of the sales force as donkeys as opposed to Clydesdales, if that was a stat, would be a pretty powerful stat. And I do know David Long, good friend of mine, and I know we've talked about him. Ryan hates when I repeat myself, but see, he's already looking down. He's like,
yeah.
It's so true.
Because
typically in a company, you got 2 to 3 Clydesdales for every 7 to 10 donkeys. Right. And if you look at any corporation, you're going to have, 5-10% of the company that are producing huge numbers and the rest aren't. So those big numbers is truly what carries that company. Right.
Yep.
If there was an official stat like that in logistics, you would stop every sales manager in their tracks.
Oh, definitely.
Right. So that to me would be like the golden arches, would be a really big stat that somebody would go, holy crap, like, you got to be kidding me right now. That for me would be like the number one, or calling something out.
Yeah, doing a little bit of research on them.
Yeah, they often say your video should enter the mind of the person where they're at right now, like what they're thinking right now. And if you can do that, calling them out in a kind of a fun way might be another way, but I think a stat for me would be that kind of like, wow, oh boy.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that, like do some research. If there's anything in the news, check their check their LinkedIn, check their company profiles. Maybe they are experiencing like high turnover right now, or they just went through a merger or any of those pain points really. Like I always love pulling at those strings in the beginning of a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keeps
but
them around.
you would make a lot of videos if you're going after a specific company, right? And to your point, India, when you're looking at someone's profile, getting their background, looking on the company, now you're creating a video for that individual and that company. Just imagine how many videos that you would have to make depending upon how many prospects you're going out on a daily basis. So how would you create a generic but powerful short video that would be good for all, not just one specific prospect that you really, really want?
So that's a good question. I would say, just a standard intro video first, have that as a template. And then maybe in the follow-up emails, then personalize it. I mean, I know if you're trying to send out 20, 30 cold calls, videos can be kind of inundating and time consuming. So I would say one, like, hey, I'm Jeff, I'm Dan, I'm Ryan type of template. And then maybe follow up in a few days or a week with that more personalized template going into some of those pain points and, more specifics about their business.
Right.
Would you tell them that it's a generic video?
No, nope.
No, why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Well,
I know. Don't give your secrets out.
Here's why I say that, because you'll be able to tell it's not a personalized video.
Yeah, because
right?
you're not
You're
saying the name.
Hello, India. How are you? Da, da, da.
Yeah.
And so I asked that for a specific reason, because I've always been of the opinion this is just a general introduction video on who I am, and I'd love to follow up with you in the future and be straightforward, as opposed to not saying it and allowing the other person to possibly think, oh, this is a template. It's kind of like the same thing with email, right? You send templates out all the time, and it's like, okay, you didn't even have the 2 seconds to send me an intro with, so like the correct spelling of my last name, or that kind of thing. That for me is the only reason why I asked that question.
Well, how about CPG? Like if you were going after a niche, a CPG, right? Electronics, specifically, right? Or the food industry. You could make a video for each one of those niches that you want to dabble in, right? So you could open it up in an email and attach that video and then address the prospect in the in the email, and then talk a little bit about what you did in that niche, for others. I think would probably be a better idea on that.
No, I love that. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would give it away is that you're not saying good morning, so and so. But other than that, they have no idea.
Well, in the email, you would do that, right?
Right.
Especially
Yep.
if they didn't know you,
Yep.
when you're doing their background check in their company. And as the individual who's in charge of their logistics group there, you would probably have a plethora of information that you could put in a few sentences to open it up with that video attached to it, to learn more kind of deal.
Yes. Yep. And another thing, I'm sure these companies, these prospects are going to watch it with their team members. So I'm sure you don't know all of their names. So just good morning team, I think is fine. And then going into the welcome video.
Or if you address it well and you get the attention of the supply chain manager or logistics manager, he may go to his group and go, hey guys,
we have to watch this, right?
You have to watch this. This really hits home, especially to their procurement team or their inbound logistics team or the outbound logistics team, whatever it might be. I could see that being set up properly, that you might be able to open up a door that way to channel yourself in there. So
And I think too, one of the biggest things too, like we're talking about video about being introductory a lot. It's not like, like for me, I use video throughout my whole prospecting thing, right? So there'll be intro video, it'll be like a fifth or sixth touch. And let's say I book that meeting, I will send a video after we get off that meeting, just kind of going through the steps, right? So we got to understand that video is not the end all be all, right? It's just not, we don't make calls only, we don't make emails only. It's a part of our weapon and our sequences that we use, right? So I think the one key things that we're looking for in India is like, what can somebody kind of get started to start video? And you've been great with that because you said the brand recognition, get amazing apps that you said, like the teleprompter, and kind of just get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And that's what we do every day in our industry. So what are your kind of like 3 top tips if somebody picks up a phone, they want to get started? You said your script, but what is some kind of takeaways for our audience as we kind of wrap up today's show?
Yeah. So, I mean, just to piggyback off of what you said, I heard someone say that you need 9 touch points to close a sale right now, like in the light of the economy and everything going on, 9. So that number is huge. But yeah, so to answer your question, definitely mindset, having the equipment, speaking to those pain points, having a story. So why'd your company get started? Here's what we're doing. And then kind of the third point would be just establishing that connection. So are you going to book the sale on that call? More than likely, probably no. They're just learning who you are. So the money is always in the follow-up. The follow-up video, email, or just video would be, just providing value to them. And this kind of goes back to what we were saying before, going back, looking at their LinkedIn company pages, anything in the news, their company websites, just trying to figure out how your business can add value to theirs.
That's the key.
Yep.
Dan brings up a good point here.
Value first, sale last.
I like that. Value first, sales last. And Dan brings up here, what would be the best way to deliver video to a potential customer directly?
So there is a tool called Vidyard. It's
I use Vidyard.
You good? Look at you, Ryan.
Vidyard's the best tool out there, period, when it comes to video.
Yes. So that's one platform that I love to use.
And you guys don't use BombBomb?
I hate BombBomb. I think I use that trial.
I've never even heard of it before.
Yeah, I'm a Vidyard guy.
BombBomb happen everything. And it creates a little GIF at the beginning, like a 3-second GIF, and you just put the code in the email, and they can watch the video right in the email. I haven't had a single BombBomb get blocked. I used to do YouTube, so I used to put all my videos on YouTube.
Again, we're not sponsored by anybody yet.
I know.
We can start dropping names. That's not sponsorship.
Maybe somebody from BombBomb's listening, Ryan.
I know.
We got Starbucks coming in. We got Amazon.
I used to do
some awesome name drops here. India, where can people get a hold of you? They want to take video to the next level. They want to work with you. I know you said you had your free guide and website, but plug yourself. Let's get that.
Definitely. So definitely my website, indiabrown.co. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram, Video by India. And I'm on TikTok, but I need to start posting a little bit more on there. But yeah, those are pretty much my 2.
Too many platforms, India.
Too many platforms. Too many platforms. Just pick one and master it, and then, repurpose your content and tweak it. I know that's the biggest thing that I hear with clients. They're like, oh my gosh, do I really have to make video for all of these? No, just repurpose and then tweak, because every platform algorithms differently. So they all want you to be, you're the oldest child, the baby. So you have to treat them like such.
I love that. You say the repurposing. So any questions, anything before we let everybody go, Dan, Jeff?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you so much,
India.
A
lot of knowledge. I'm sure people definitely gained a lot of knowledge from this. Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even for myself, it's being able to like take tools and take these things and actually go and do it when we're looking at working. So I want to thank you, India, so much for coming out this morning. It's really a pleasure. We got to have you out another time, maybe next year to kind of talk about strategies for more prospecting. But everybody, thank you so much for coming out. Hit the replay at 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern time. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll see you tomorrow for Data Day with our man Dean Crook. And It's gonna be awesome. So, India, we're gonna hit our outro. I want you to actually grade this outro for our buddies, our sponsor, Daman.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
They got the feeling, they got the emotion. Let's get to it, guys. See you guys tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Bye.
Centurion Trucking, our motto is people before profit. Today's market requires more transparency, consistency, and focus on what our clients need to win. Centurion Trucking and American Logistics are poised to help their clients achieve and surpass their targets. If you're looking for a team that honors your needs, dreams, and aspirations, then get a hold of Daman at American Logistics or Centurion Trucking and start designing